will bring you a documentary series on environmental issues affecting Nigeria's amazing biodiversity, from climate change, air pollution, and wildlife conservation. We will be traveling across Nigeria to give you on-the-ground report of the issues affecting our environment. It airs every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. only on TV.
It's a beautiful Thursday morning here in Lagos. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. Our attention is turned to Edo State this morning. The political atmosphere there is gathering momentum, and that started since INEC released its timetable for the governorship election last year. We've seen the number of aspirants rise rapidly as they intensify consultations ahead of party primaries slated for next month. By the way, I had my NYSC service in Benin, and I was privileged to work there for some 3 years thereabout. And Edo people are quite friendly and warm. And for sure, they're also very active politically. You saw what happened in 2020, right? And then how Labour Party also won the presidential election there last year. Some have now predicted a three-horse race among the major political parties, the ruling PDP, the opposition APC, and the Labour Party, which has a senatorial seat and 2 seats in the House of Representatives. But the parties must first survive the first hurdle with the primary elections, which will be potentially challenging with a rising number of aspirants. So the race to the Dennis Osadebe Avenue Government House in Benin City has started. And my guest this morning is the former Minister of State for Budget and National Planning in the last administration. He was a 2-time commissioner in Edo State under the Governor Shomole administration. And just yesterday, he purchased his expression of interest in nomination forms to contest the governorship primary election of the APC in Edo State. Prince Clem Agba joins us on the program this morning. Thank you for joining us, Prince.
Thank you, Nifemi, for having me.
All right, let's begin with the political dimension to what's happening in Edo State. This is perhaps the first time in the history of governorship election there that the number of aspirants would have grown to well over 62 among the main parties. The number for your party is also soaring by the day. The last count was 20. What do you make of this unprecedented rise in number this year?
Yeah, I think it's something that is very good for our people, having a variety of choices, a variety of opportunities or people to make your choices. So, like they say, the more the merrier. I think what is important is the ability of our people to choose one that they know has the requisite experience and has the proven ability or quality to be able to identify and work with partners and stakeholders. The important thing is being able to move our state forward.
Now, they say you were the first APC aspirant to pick the expression of interest and nomination forms. It was done on your behalf by a former Attorney General of the state. Were you trying to prove a point by diving in first? You know that scripture that says, whoever steps in after the water was stirred by an angel will be healed and made whole. Prince.
Can you take that again?
Yeah, I'm asking if it was intentional for you to have picked the form first, if you were trying to make a particular point precisely.
Like I believe in planning. They say when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And so once we saw the timetable, we had a plan to say we will go there and show that we are serious about this, that we mean business, and we had to go and pick the form. I think that the best way to start is to start.
Many of whom seem to have more experience than you in primary elections of this nature. There's a former governor, present and past members of the National Assembly, and then there is Pastor Ize Yamu, who's gotten the ticket twice now. What do you think are your chances against these heavyweights?
I think that my chances are very, very bright. I also feel that I'm a heavyweight. I have been involved in the process before with others, not as a person, but I've worked with others, including the pastor that you mentioned about. I think I have enough experience in this process, having worked at the state and also at the federal level.
Let's talk about zoning. I'm sure you're following, developments in that regard. An official of your party did say last year that APC will prioritize capacity over zoning. But there's also a growing advocacy for Edo Central to produce the next state governor. So they say if Edo South has had 16 years, the North 8 years, Edo Central only produced a governor for 1 year and 7 months since 1999, that it's only fair it returns there this time. Do you agree that the ASAN people have been grossly marginalized in this regard?
Thanks, Nifemi, for asking this very important question. But you see that when you come to equity, you have to come with clean hands. In the first place, our party constitution does not talk about zoning. So it's not one of the rules that we should follow. Secondly, the statistics you just read out is that Edo North has had it for 8 years, Edo South has had it for 16 years, and then Edo Central just 18 months. I don't think that is quite correct. What is correct is that Edo South has produced 4 governors for the state, civilian governors. Edo Central has produced 2 civilian governors for the state, Professor Ambrose Ali and Professor Osubo. And Edo North has only produced 1, which is His Excellency Senator Comrade Adam Saliu Shomole. So when you look at it from that perspective and you want to talk about marginalization, of course, it means that Edo North is the one that has been marginalized. And I think that political appointments go beyond governorship. If you look at the ministerial appointments in the state since 1999, there have been about 9 ministers. Of these, about 5 have come from Edo Central, 3 from Edo South, and 2 from Edo North. Of the 2, I am the first to be a minister from Edo North. So when you look at it from this perspective, you really see that it's Edo North that has been marginalized. However, the issues at stake go beyond where one comes from. The state is currently in a mess, and it's everyone that is suffering it, whether it's Edo South, Edo Central, or Edo North. What we need at this time is someone with capacity, someone with the necessary experience, someone who understands the state to be able to bring back our state to a trajectory of growth. In terms of relationship, for instance, I am from Edo North, my parents are. I am married from Edo South. I did my tertiary education in Edo Central. Aside from this, my immediate elder brother is married from Edo Central, so I have a relationship with Edo Central. So I am not going to marginalize any part of the state, because if I do, I have people from each part of the state that would have access to me and would be able to speak to me to say, this is something that you are not doing. But more importantly, I think it's how to get our state back, how to ensure that our people are happy, how to alleviate the issues of poverty, how to ensure that our educational system is good, is effective, how to ensure that there are teachers in our schools. We require health facilities across the 192 political wards. I think that is what is important for our people. Those who are living in the rural areas need potable drinking water. It doesn't matter who gets there, whether it's from the north, the south, or the central. but the person who is able to ensure that potable water, drinking water gets to all the nooks and crannies of the state. How do we handle environmental matters and ensure that there is good sanitation? I think these are the issues that are important and not zoning.
I like the way you've analyzed it, particularly talking about the number of governors that have been elected across the zones. But, you know, there are others who do not agree with you. Some, indeed, have said that APC aspirants from Edo North should be appeased to drop their ambition for now. So when you mention that political appointments, you know, go beyond governorship, they've also brought out a list of the newly appointed Minister of Niger Delta, who is from Edo North, same as the majority leader in the House of Reps. And there's Honorable Peter Patterson from Akoko Edo, who's also a ranking member in the House of Representatives. But my question really is whether you're concerned about the possibility that the leadership of your party might be looking towards supporting an Edo Central aspirant this time, you know, given this pronounced sentiment along this line.
I am glad that you say these are sentiments, and these sentiments are coming from Edo Central. And I'm sure you also know that this is not our area of strength in my party, the APC. The Central is the PDP stronghold. And when you say that the current Minister of Niger Delta is from Edo North, the immediate past Minister of Health was from Oredo, the same local government as the current governor. And he was there for 8 years, going through the 2 terms of the governor. The same thing happened when Professor Osubo was also governor. The minister then was also from Edo Central. So I don't see what is new now, or what is different. We've always had it like this. And like I said earlier on, those who should have been the ones complaining of marginalization, it's Edo North, because we've only had 1 governor and 2 ministers.
So to have your ambition fulfilled, you know, constitutionally, you have to get the nod of your party. It means you must win, you know, the primary election to be able to contest. The big question is, what if you lose the primary? Will you stay with the APC or join another party?
I have never joined any other party. I have been with this party from the beginning, and I will continue to remain with the party. And with my moving around, reaching out to our party stakeholders, I do believe that I'll win, and I'm focused on winning.
So what if you don't win? That's my question.
I will win. I am sure, because I know that I have the requisite experience, you know, to win. I've been able to develop a lot of relationship across the state. I am not planning to lose. I am planning to win.
You know, some would say politicians are the most optimistic, you know, people in the world. But many have also said that the ability of your party leadership to manage the aftermath of this primary, you know, particularly this content that will be coming from losers, will determine to a large extent the electoral fortunes of the APC at the forthcoming election. Do you think your party can weather what seems an impending storm, seeing what it's been through?
I think the leadership of our party, they are very, very experienced. It's not a new party. And I do not foresee any danger in the party going astray. You know, at the end of the day, we are one family. We know that there is 1 seat that is available, and there's only 1 person that is going to get it. And when that happens, we will all cling together. The important thing is that we take the leadership of our state back to us from PDP.
When you say from PDP, that's an interesting way to put it, because the governor and the deputy, you probably worked for them in 2016, you know, when they were contesting under your party. What has changed? Is it a function of party affiliation or the performance of the outgoing government?
What has changed is the performance of the outgoing government. Promises that were made have not been kept. And most of the things that we are told have been done cannot be seen and cannot be touched. Some, like people will say, are MOUs, and majority are EDs and EDAT. I think that Edo people want to see things that they can touch and feel and know that government is working. Like I've said in some fora, most of the schools in Edo State do not have teachers. How is education going to be qualitative when you find that schools have 2.5 teachers administering the entire school? So those are the things that need to change. And then when you look at infrastructure, they are not available. Even the few roads that have been built around Benin, a lot of them do not have drainages. They are all going away and being washed away with the first rainfall. And the drainages that were built by the previous government of Adam Sali Oshomole are not being maintained. They are all silted up and they are not being cleaned. When it rains for 3 minutes now in Benin, the whole place is flooded. So there is a need to have a change. We want to have teachers in our schools so that we have the true Edo-based education. We want to have hospitals around, albeit whether they are primary healthcare centers, across the 192 political wards. A situation where one has to drive 4 to 5 hours to get to an hospital is wrong. All that needs to change. I think that our people have a right to have portable drinking water, because if you continue to take water that is not portable, the propensity of having a lot of illnesses will be high. It means we need more doctors and nurses and hospitals. Like you say, prevention is better than cure. So I think that these are rights of our people to have access, to quality education, to have access to basic health care, to have access to portable drinking water, sanitation, and a good standard of living.
You mentioned that when it rains in Edo or in Benin, it floods. Some 2 years ago, the governor threw that back to the former governor of the state, Oshomole, when he raised, a probe of a 30 billion naira stormwater project, which I believe you also are aware of, given the role you played as commissioner in that state. Is that something you can blame on this administration and not that of Oshomole, which you participated in?
Definitely, I would blame this administration. There was a stormwater master plan that was put in place. It took 12 months of study. And that study showed that there are 23 watersheds in Edo, rather in Benin City. And the Comrade Adam Sali Oshomole's government had worked on 6 of those watersheds. And they were working on one of the biggest, which is the Owelu West and Owelu East watershed. That's the one that was the 30.4 billion contract. And that job, at the time Comrade Adam Sali Oshomole left office, was 70% completed. The president came and commissioned the completed part of it because it went beyond building drainages. The Adam Sali Oshomole's administration believed in holistic infrastructural development. So when it goes into an area and is fixing the flooding problem, he will do primary drains, secondary drains, the road, walkways. He will green the area and provide street lighting. That particular contract had about 8 kilometers of underground drains. And these were box culverts, double cell. The entire Igbenadua Street, for instance, was underground, and there was a road on top. That was completed. The Siloko Road up to Channel 55 was dualized and made 6 lanes. It was completed, with street lighting and the side drains. So there were 11 roads in that particular area. Since Comrade Adams Ashimole left office, no additional work has been done on that area. And this is the main tributary to Agba River, which takes 3/4 of the flood in Benin to the final watershed, which is Agba River. So we have a lot to blame the current government for. And Ifemi, I'll tell you, when you buy a brand new car, do you maintain it? After a couple of months, you have to change the oil, you have to change the plugs. Drains are like that. They have to be maintained, especially where you have a city where all the roads have not been paved. So it means that you are going to have a lot of silt going into the drains. So if you do not clean them up, then you have flooding. When these drains were constructed by Adams Ali Oshomole's administration, it took care of the flooding in those areas, like the Tom Line areas, for instance, the 5 junction that used to be flooded for almost 20-something years, now has underground drains. Sapler Road was dualized and drains provided. But all of these areas I mentioned now, when it rains, it gets flooded. The drains are still there. But it's just that they are filled up with silt. So the governor or the government needs to desilt them. And it's not something that is rocket science. It is not expensive to do.
I hear you, Prince. By the way, in case the viewers are wondering, Prince Agba was a former commissioner for environment and public utilities in Edo State under Governor Oshomole's administration. But you can't also just wish away the power of incumbency. We've seen how that play out in elections. The PDP, for instance, benefited from the infighting in APC in 2020. Is your party counting on the infighting within the PDP this time, between the governor and his deputy and also the legacy group?
Our party is counting on the failure of the current PDP government in Edo State. Our party is counting on the fact that the promises that were made by this government have not been fulfilled. Our party is counting on the fact that we have done it before and we have the capability to do it. So their infighting is something that is up to them. It's good for us, but we are focused on the ball to take over governance in Edo State.
Some 3 weeks ago, when you met with the state executives of the APC in Benin, someone actually referred to you as Oshomole Jr. How do you feel about the strong perception that the former governor is your godfather? You saw what happened with the person he supported in 2016. His choice was also rejected in 2020.
I don't understand what you mean by godfather. The fact that you have a relationship with someone who was your boss, does it not mean that you shouldn't aspire? The fact that you are qualified to run for a job, you have to run for a job when you are hated by others. I think that what people need to speak to is my person and to ask, is he capable of doing this job or not? Have you seen Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole come out and point hand at any individual so far to say that this is the person that he's supporting? I have been on the road. I've gone through the 18 local government areas. If I was depending on the Godfather, I would sit at home and wait to be appointed. I know that this is an elective business. That is why I'm reaching out and I'm letting the people know the program that I have and how I want to change our state. I think that that is what is important. And that if there are opponents who see anything wrong in my candidature in terms of my person, they should focus on that and leave out third parties. I haven't brought in Comrade Adams Ali Oshomole in this, in all I've been doing. But am I happy to have been associated with him? Yes. Did he work well as a governor? Yes. So what is wrong in having worked for him? A couple of others who are also aspiring for this position worked for him. They are close to him. So why is he not being Godfather to them? So I think that these are irrelevant. People should concentrate and focus on the ball and tell people, the Edo State people, what they want to do, rather than just focus on some flimsy excuses.
But how significant would you say his support will be for you to emerge as candidate of the APC in the forthcoming primary election?
He is the father of the party, and he has remained neutral, and he will continue to remain neutral, I believe.
All right, we're going to take a short break. Prince Clem Agba is a former minister for budget and national planning under the previous administration of President Buhari. He's also an APC aspirant for the Edo State governorship election that has now been slated for September this year. When we return, we'll open the phone lines and touch on the issues of the economy and all the burning issues in that part of the country. Stay with us, everyone.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Every weekday on Business Nigeria, we uncover the secrets of the financial world,
breaking down intricate economic and financial matters.
We analyze the stock market, shares, bonds, and the thrilling world of cryptocurrencies.
We unveil and analyze complex policies of the CBN and other government parastatals as they affect your everyday life, keeping you a step ahead every time.
Okay, this is the Facts matter.